Starting 6 o'clock and I call the meeting to order. Everybody rise for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So before we start, just so everybody's aware, we are recording both audio and video tonight. So think about what you did. And if you're in the camera, hands, I think it's looking right at you. Actually, both hands.
Both hands.
Both hands. Look at both hands. So agenda review. Anything that we're adding, we do have the quote for the library came in late. So
Yes, and then the pole ledge.
we have the tree. We have a tree quote on Cole's Ledge. So we'll have both of those on there, and well, I guess the boiler's already on there, so we'll put that in there. And then Cole's Ledge, the tree quote. So we'll see what we can get through. At 6:30, we have our public administration subcommittee. Payroll and manifest, did everybody get a chance to look at that? And the minutes for June 24th?
I make a motion to accept the minutes for June 24th. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And so under new business, and Karen, in our packet, 123 West Lock Road, that is different than 34 Hampshire Court, which they seem to be the
Yes.
same issue.
They are
Different,
the same issue.
okay.
I think you saw that the
What's that?
court is going.
That is public.
Yes,
That would be public.
yes, and the Hampshire court, they've gotten back to found, and that will be taken care of next week.
Okay. So the 123 West Lock, he's no response?
The attorney is wanted to see the video as well as the pictures, to then get back to the town as to the quickest and best, course of action we take.
Okay. That cost, can we keep that separate so that when we, whatever action we take, we can recoup it
Oh,
from?
absolutely, yes, yeah.
So, I discussed this a little bit with Karen, and one of my thoughts were the board is, rather than allow this, depending on what the attorney says, rather than allow this to sit and wait, that the town get the garbage cleaned up, we pay the cost to get it done, because it's not just this house, but the neighbors, and then we lien the property. Was one of the options we have, but we'll wait for the attorney's response for that.
Is that the owner of the bed there?
Yeah.
Or whatever?
Yeah, this is the owner of the
Alright.
property, but you've seen the pictures?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Pretty gross. It's obviously a health issue for the neighbors as well. Okay, so we'll table that for the attorney. So library boiler. So last, what was it? Wednesday, we met, Rick and I met with Dana Joy. Dana Joy was the effective low bidder for the boiler replacement. He's the only one that could do it within the time frame that we have allotted and at the lower price. Sure.
I'm sorry.
We
It's
just
not
had
public
to make sure we
I wanted to know I was here.
All right. We were disappointed last week.
I heard that.
It
I
was very,
didn't provide you my calendar.
it was very upsetting. We struggled
I bet you did.
in public input. So shortly after we got the quotes and we looked at that, one of the air conditioning systems at the library went down. They're still currently down. We are having it temporarily fixed tomorrow. So it led to a look at the current systems. The library actually has 4 outdoor systems, 3 indoor systems, one's a split, so they have that. 2 of the outdoor systems are at their life end, they're at the end of the life cycle, and all 4 all three indoor units are at end of life. They're all like 25 years old. So we asked Dana Joy to give us a option to replace the air conditioning system with heat pumps. That would eliminate the need for the boiler replacement, and this would take care of heating and cooling. And Karen, was that 38,000 for the boiler? Remember what it was?
You don't have that with me at 38 is
It was
right.
38,000. So the board just received the quote, so everybody hasn't had an opportunity to peek at it yet. But the quote to replace the air conditioning with a heat pump system is $67,000.
That would also cover the
It
boiler.
would cover the boiler.
That's pretty much a brand new AC unit and brand new heat system.
Everything's new inside, everything's new outside. It is the correct financial decision to make. It is an ugly financial decision to make at this point in time. But it is the right, replacing the boiler at this point in time, in my opinion, is throwing good money after bad. We will be replacing at least 2 condensers next year, and we will be replacing indoor units next year as well, would be my assumption. In the small amount of good of it is the fan is being replaced by Joy's HVAC tomorrow, same company's giving us this, and they would give us a credit for the fan fix, which is supposed to cost about $1,000. So, I don't know, I don't think, we don't need to make that decision tonight if we really want to take some time to, because I know you just got it.
Well, we really have to stop thinking about where we're getting that from too.
Yeah,
We don't know right now.
correct. So it's not an easy call to make. The heat pump system works down to -15, and at that point in time, there is resistance heating in the system to take over if we get below -15.
Is it on here when they'd be able to do it?
It is not on there.
Okay.
When you can do it, we could probably circle back. I know that some of the equipment you told me, putting on the top had not been released yet because we're in the midst of the new refrigerator changeover.
Okay.
So,
But what you're doing with the Band-Aid will keep the air conditioner until.
they'll have air conditioning tomorrow.
Okay.
And what we discovered, Rick and I were over there, is we think the air conditioning is actually not working in the front of the building right now. So that kind of, so it runs, it lives off.
Yeah, I was
the
in there
center.
today and didn't notice. It wasn't bad.
The back works.
I was up in front with Russ,
Okay.
and I didn't notice at the time, but.
Yeah, so that wasn't, and my guess is it's because it's trying to heat or cool the whole building.
Yeah.
And so when the middle section is up and running, that's the biggest system in there.
Yeah.
That's actually half of the cooling load. Whatever that, so. That's what that is, everybody's got the quote to take a peek at it. And all kinds of great stuff. So next on there is the request for proposal for auditing services. So at this point in time, the town needs to seek out a new auditor for the 2026 calendar year. Right, well, they'll do the 2025 fiscal year audit
Right.
going forward. So it's pretty extensive. The school uses Plodnick and Sanderson. Who they use, they are taking new customers, in the past they were not, and then there's 2 or 3 others that are also the larger firms available, so it was sent to those. The only thing I had on the RFP, Karen, page 7 is a different font than the others. We could just make it all one font. It's just a little OCD. Anybody else have any commentary on that?
The only one I had was the 3-year contract, just make it a yearly contract, just in case. Sometimes you never know.
Right, if you know, we should probably, maybe the first year is a 1 year, and then we have the option to,
Yep, or it also includes, non-appropriation clause, you can get out of the contract if you don't want to
in case
continue.
they suck.
But if you want to do just, and the only reason I say that
long as we can get out of it, if we don't like them.
But I did see that in there, so
Yeah.
that's what they were on there, it's way easier to deal with the guns. We will be escape also. Something weird happened.
Yeah, so that's on page 7.
Mhm.
Gary, got anything? So,
I'm good.
Greg,
No, I'm okay.
you wanna send this out? We're good with sending this out?
Okay.
Yeah, 'cause
So
we
I'll
already
send it to 3 companies.
send it out, yeah. And this is not based, so when we go for professional services, it's not based on price. It's based on their qualifications to do the job, so we don't have any low. Per our policy,
Yes.
we can say, no, you might be cheap, but
Yes.
you're not gonna be the one for us. Alright. You all right? It looked like it was a pretty decent month for building permits. But, so 15 major renovations, 6 minor, and 3 new homes for building permits for the month of May. You're not out. You can build anything. So Coles Ledge, as part of the RFP, or the project, I should say, 'cause it's not part of the RFP, we went out there and determined there were a couple of trees in the way, that this would be the time to remove them, because we'll have the equipment there to pull the stumps and do everything else. So I think Dan went out and looked, I think we initially identified 2, Dan looked at it and thought there were 4 total. Did you look at those also, Andy?
Yeah, and some of them too are just they stick out in the road, so you're gonna go through them.
So now's the time.
They're right there too.
So it was a pretty decent spread on quotes. They range from 5,500 to 14,000. Preservation tree out of Concord is 5,500. Goose tree out of Stratford is 6,000. And the only question I have, I think, on dues versus preservation is preservation says brush and wood will be removed, and dues is going to chip the brush and clean it. Does that mean he's chipping the brush and leaving it, or chipping it and
No,
taking it?
they chip it in the back of the truck.
So that would be the only thing we're gonna pile up. So, Ian, you got any thoughts on it? I mean, you're kind of bird dog in that project.
I mean, I always like local contractors there, so.
She was always done
I
really
mean,
good.
he does good work, and it's not gonna go more.
Right. They have the local guy versus the
Yep.
Yeah.
Concord guy. Do that. The only question that I have on funding it, we can put this into the Coles Ledge project, so it comes out of road work as opposed to using our tree cutting budget for this?
Right, FEMA, FEMA money.
Okay, because I didn't want to burn up our tree money. Gary?
We deciding on it? I'll make a motion to accept.
So see if you
the
have-
bid.
I'll second the motion for
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Karen, can we just make sure that he is taking the chips with him and not leaving us a pile?
Well, look towards the dam.
Put them on the neighbor's lawn. Fire rescue generator, I saw that they're gonna do that in July, is that?
Correct.
And that is the parade fire station generator, correct? Or that's, no, that's this one.
This one.
Right, the parade fire station is still, that work hasn't been done for that one?
That has
Yeah.
not been done yet.
Okay. Do we have a price for that one?
He sent, no, I don't have a dollar amount.
Okay.
He sent some
Yes.
recommendations, but I still don't have the dollar.
Did everybody see the recommendations for the parade fire station?
I don't think I did.
So apparently the block heater stuck on and took the coolant. So it's replacing the block heater and replacing the coolant on that one.
That was pretty old, isn't it?
That, you know, nothing.
Like an old. So
That
that
was
was made.
replaced, that was replaced because of storm damage around, I'm gonna say 2007,
2006.
It's old.
Well,
19 years.
it doesn't get a lot of hours.
Right.
You know, more exercise hours than it is run hours.
Yeah.
But it's a sizable generator, that's, that was because that insurance company said it was insured for full replacement, and that was the smallest generator that was close to what was in there originally.
And Karen, we got what was the response from the attorney on the library MOU?
That I just got an email just before we came out here that he will have, that information for us tomorrow.
Okay.
And so then I'll just forward it, and then we can set a date with the library to meet again.
Do you have any other, July 21st and 22nd, they'll be at the Great Fire Station to do the generator work.
I have a question before we get to it.
We won't buy it.
All right. I thought contractors could only have so many permits a year.
To build a house, right? So if they're just renovating,
Oh, okay, so renovation's different?
Yeah.
Okay, but
New-
it's still 800 for the fee for renovation?
New bill.
I thought only new builds had 800. All of those four.
I got a new bill for 1400.
Oh, maybe,
Well,
maybe they went up since that, I don't know.
but he's
A brand new house, I thought that was 1400. It was 1200, one of those.
I just don't know.
What used to be impact?
Right.
Do you know what it is?
So $800 building permit fee, and then a $1,200 impact fee? Is that correct?
Houses, yes.
14,
Was
okay.
it?
All right, thanks.
Do we have anything for miscellaneous?
No, we discussed Hampshire work.
And that one's in the resolution
Yes.
phase. Okay. Andy, got anything for planning? Do we have a start date from advance yet for paving?
No, I did follow last week there, we were supposed to go back again, yeah.
Okay.
So, I do know it was not gonna be anything this week, so, that, his wife did mention that.
And I know, I saw they ditched John Tasker all the way up to the end of the pavement and replaced that culvert.
I don't know anything, I checked on it.
So in that case, since we have a little time before our public administration committee, we'll open it up for public input.
I'm not the only public.
Well, but you missed last week, and so I'm concerned that you're pent up.
No, I'm not, I'm making the time. I've been working with Andy with regards to the tower truck, and at some point that discussion needs to be re-engaged, with the information I've come up with. I've got some input to provide for, your maintenance plan and full process
Yep.
with what I found with information that I was given and the lack of a lot of detail is critical. And, this is not anything other than trying to make sure that we have good processes in place that are meaningful, accomplish the goal. And so I say, I'm working with Andy, we've been talking, we've been trying some stuff, I know when he wants to talk about it, but that's his call. I'm just supporting him, and trying to move forward. The only question I do have is, interesting culvert to be replaced, and I'm not making judgment on who's making the decision, I'm just saying that when it's not a high water flow area, yeah, the problem was that the way it was installed last time, it was not getting the water from the side of the road, you need to push it along, and it's a little bit of a, normally it's a seasonal stream, and now we have a ski. And I don't know whether there's plans to do a heavy, gravel distribution on New Road. If not, if we got, we might wanna look at how we put our culverts in, and what, if there's a plan, let's understand what that might be.
Yeah.
Cause it's just, roads are all an issue, and, well, you know, we got a lot to try to make them better, and first thing it takes is money. And so I realized that, I just thought that somebody might wanna look at that.
So it's a inverted speed bump? It's slowing traffic down for you.
Well, you know, I appreciate your comment there, because I did give it that thought. However, I will tell you that in driving with a trailer load of hay behind me up and down that, it's really a pain in my ass.
I'm sure.
So, I'd like that a lot smoother, because you know, non-cushion implements
Yep.
go down the road high. And if anybody wants the experience, it, I'll be glad to provide that experience. No charge, by the way.
Is that down past Danielle's house?
It's right between, the 480, which used to be Fowler, now it's junk, now it's, Mindy and Mike, between Sam Clark Road and Danielle's house.
Danielle's house, okay.
And, other than that, I think we got a lot going on, the town's, you know, trying to do a good job.
How long ago was that culvert replaced, do you remember?
How many long ago?
Yeah,
Boy, I can't, Rick.
just a couple weeks, or was it?
Oh, no, this replacement was just done this week.
This week? Okay.
And it was like, whoa, what did we replace that one for? There was a problem, because there's water along the side, on the up side, that doesn't come across, because it may have been a flood clot culvert. I don't know, I'm not dismissing, might have been a problem like that, but it really is a seasonal stream, and all the water comes from, if you headed towards Stratford, it comes from the right side and goes out on the left side and goes down through the river. I just think I said, man, we don't need to make roads harder to put on, easier to put on.
Never gonna be happy.
I'm never gonna be happy. You're right.
We get calcium in front of your house only.
Only, I don't
The
even
only
know.
one.
Don't
We
go
put a
there,
speed bump out for you to slow them down.
Yeah, well, anyhow. And so I'm just trying to plug in where I can and help people and get good information so that we can help to solve the future of planning for the town.
Did you do your survey? Survey came out from the planning board today.
Well,
In the
I don't know
Barnstable
how
van.
it came out.
It's in the Barnstable van.
Well,
And I think you can pick up copies here. Do we have the copies yet?
I couldn't see, did we, you know?
I think the library has them. The library's
We
in
have them in
there.
the planning office.
Okay.
Okay.
I may have to look
Do you
online.
want me to go get you one?
You want a paper one, Rusty?
Do you want me to go get you a paper one?
No, that's quite all right. I'll be able to survive.
You want me to send you the link?
Sure.
I'll send it to you.
Perfect.
There's a question on
And
it.
fill it out too.
I'll fill it out. Yeah. Selectmen are doing a great job. I'll put that right in for you.
I'll second that.
Anybody else for public input? Of course, Linda.
I wasn't here last week. What is a library MOU? What is that?
Memorandum of understanding.
So what does that mean?
It means that we have a memo that we understand.
All right.
It's quite lengthy.
So basically, the library, for a lot of reasons, is in a sense almost a separate entity,
Yep.
but operates under the umbrella of the town's EIN number, and so they do a budget, gets put into our budget, we collect the taxes, we give them money, that sort of stuff. The library has protection under New Hampshire RSA, so we as the select board can't censor the library.
Right.
You can come up with all kinds of other reasons why you can't, but at the end of the day, we can't censor the library. did something, so we're gonna fire her. We're not allowed to, we can take no action against the library. So it's just, but we own the building, so we're responsible for maintenance and upkeep on the building. We handle their payroll, so there's things on that. So there's a couple of issues that are going back and forth, and they really have to do with benefits. And that's why we're just getting this, trying to get clarity, because they're technically not a town employee, but they almost are a town employee, right? So it's,
So what
It's a
happens
fine
if the
line.
building gets condemned?
well, theoretically, we'd have to provide them a new one. It's crazy.
Auditing services, are we only going with the school auditors?
No, no, she said three.
Yeah,
Sure.
okay.
But, so the ones that the school uses actually is very well respected. One, Pleasant and Sanderson, I think for the most part is one of the most respected in the state. There was a period of time when they did not take on new municipalities. And the other piece of it is we have to find someone who does municipality, because our books are different.
The boiler situation, we've replaced the boiler over at the fire station here.
So this one here went to heat pumps a year ago, probably. That one did, that was a while back. The Parade Fire Station has not been replaced,
Okay.
and the library has not.
Okay. The modulars, they've been moved to the other side of the
So
parking
that's a
lot.
school board question.
So are we taking them on to
That
do
is
the,
a school,
addition?
No.
no, no, those belong to the school board, those belong to the school, and they're going back to the company that rented them to.
Judge us, they-
It was like a lease or something.
Yeah, they're
Very
really-
Yeah.
badly written.
There was, I think there was a talk about maybe.
Somebody had
using those.
recommended that, so there's an $8,000 fee to move them out of the school, and there's a setup fee, we would have to bring them over here to pay a setup fee,
Oh,
and then we would have to pay a rental fee,
yeah,
and then where are we gonna put it,
yeah,
is the other question.
yeah.
So yes, power,
Yeah.
Okay.
and water.
Thank you for taking and going over to the library and just getting this squared away with the meetings.
Not squared away yet.
Not yet.
We're trying.
If you'd like to cut a check for $7,000, we
As a
would turn.
matter of fact, we're gonna be cutting a check next week.
There you go. Yeah,
If you could run us a GoFundMe, that'd be
we
perfect.
do appreciate all you early payers. That, yeah,
That's it.
anybody else for public input?
Thank you all for your immediate attention to the library's HVAC problems. Thank you all for getting the AC fixed. We have sensitive populations in there, but someone in there is suffering from some current medical situations, and they can't work and be sweating and hot, so thank you all so much. Another question, and I just wanted to mention, and I don't know if I'm talking as a member of the library or public, so,
It's hard to differentiate in the public view,
Sorry.
honestly.
Danielle is looking into a potential grant for the conversion to a heat pump. It's not as easy as it seems. It would have to be under and through the town, and the EIN number and all that. So she is looking into it. Just wanted to let you guys know. But it's not like our literacy grants or anything like that, which are like.
And it would have to be interesting because it's the town's building.
Exactly.
We have not researched any of the rebates either for this yet from Eversource, because they do have.
And that's what the meeting, last question, is there other, I'm sure they're minimal, because they're never good enough, but are there tax credits?
If we pay taxes as a, so there's federal tax credits on your income tax. That wouldn't apply to the.
It doesn't, there's
No.
nothing like that?
No, we don't pay federal income tax. So if you would like to purchase them, you can take tax credits. Again, we're open to, no,
But thank you all, I know it's a hard pill to swallow, that system has been piecemealed
going today, I mean, that library, if you don't ever go, you don't know how busy that library is.
Go tomorrow.
I mean,
We can go on story time.
Yeah.
Oh.
Today was story time.
There's two. We
Oh.
split it up.
Okay, so
Yeah.
yeah, my
Oh, so you were there.
granddaughter worked at story time, but yes, it's just filled. And if you don't go in there, you don't know it, how busy it is.
Thank you.
Nancy?
Hi, Select Board. Just a quick Old Home Day update. The booklets are out, pulled out of the closet. Make sure everybody leaves in the booklet tonight.
What are the centerfold? The centerfold's awesome?
We're gonna fix yours.
It's an angel. Right in there.
We noticed there were sheep in there. And we have some posters and signs, and we are awaiting T-shirts. It looks like we have a dunk tank, and we're looking for all the select board to take their half-hour turn in the dunk tank with some of the police officers, maybe some
Yeah.
firemen,
I
firefighters.
can't breathe. I can't swim.
I'll do it.
The tank is too deep for here.
And we had a little hiccup in the dinner, but there will be a dinner.
Oh, they will, good.
We're just we're working on finalizing that, so we should be, hopefully in another week we'll have some, know, we can tell you. And, don't bring it up.
I will, if you want me to.
Is this Venmo?
Yeah.
I was just about to ask you if Venmo was on.
Yeah, so we're waiting for Venmo, because I know that there's been some back and forth and, maybe they think we should take credit cards. We don't wanna take credit cards. We want to make as much money as we can without
Yeah.
having to pay a percentage. And make it as easy as possible for us and the town, because obviously it's a town account. So we're here for a Venmo update also.
So what is it? So I thought the board had voted to go with Venmo.
Well, yes,
It-
so the board said, yep, let's look, as long as it's safe, secure for the town.
Yeah.
Of course, our computer company has made a couple other suggestions, but as I discussed with Nancy, I think Venmo is the way that is gonna work for everybody. There's always a slight risk with
There's
everything.
a risk in everything.
But, we've talked about the account and,
And that
how
ties
to
in,
work around that.
that ties into the old home day
Right.
account,
What's that?
the old home day account.
Yes, so it will be an account that does not have a lot of funds in it, so,
And it would be receiving cash, not spending cash. It would be
yes, it's
receiving,
receiving, yes.
and not spending, and you can set up in like that.
Right.
That you
Please,
receive
let's not set up
money.
another account.
What's that?
So what's,
Please, let's not set up.
because I think we talked about we were getting a second town phone, which we needed anyway.
Yes.
So where are we at this point in time? What do we need to do to?
So I'm not sure if that phone, I thought, we were looking at maybe an iPad or a laptop, something that's bigger, a little bit bigger.
I still think a phone
The
would
cell
be,
phone is fine.
yeah, I mean, it's not like we're gonna want that cell phone all the time.
Right.
Right, you don't have to have it in front of you. They're gonna Venmo you and.
Right,
No,
we
We
don't
have to
but,
have it
but
to-
part of the problem,
to
part of
verify.
having it in front of you is you can confirm that somebody.
Right, that they did.
Don't confirm.
Right.
That it actually.
Yeah, but it's not like you need something big to look at.
Right,
You get the
so,
order.
so I mean, if it's a cell phone, the app can go on the cell phone, and so we sign it out, and maybe we keep it signed out to 2 people on the committee, or 3 people that. Maybe sadly they're first and last kids, but,
How about Brandon?
Or identical twin granddaughters.
yeah. But the point being, if only a few people are responsible for it, then, you could use it at, when we want to sell t-shirts at the concerts and the day of World Home Day. And that's basically when it would be it. And probably Old Home Day would have more money coming in because we could take silent auction payments,
you a huge bunch of cinnamon rolls for your final at an amazing price, so I was like, yeah, it was cool.
Did you get my phone? You need a phone. That's what we need.
Well,
So where are we on getting the phone then?
So we have the phone.
Oh, we have the
Oh,
phone?
we have the phone.
All right, let's set it, so we just need to, you guys comfortable setting up Venmo and all that? There's somebody to do that? So you guys have the phone, or do we have the phone?
You guys have a phone.
We have the phone, and then we'll put whatever protections we need to on it, and then,
It's Venmo.
Yeah, because one thing I did mention is that it can't be hooked to Wi-Fi.
right,
It's gonna be cellular.
yeah, yeah,
Protect it,
something,
so.
yeah.
is the phone on a cellular plan then?
Yes, it's already on
Okay.
our.
Okay.
Yep,
So,
And I know Parks and Rec had mentioned that they would like to use it as well, so.
Now you're just muddying the waters, man.
No, but you could put two accounts, right, on the same phone?
Venmo?
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys, that'll be a you guys issue.
Right,
If
yeah.
you forget to switch the account and you give all your money to Parks and Rec, duke it out yourselves. It's up to you guys, or vice versa. It's,
don't come crying to us.
I mean, I'm assuming you guys are gonna use it all home day,
Right.
and then, I don't know what they're gonna use.
right, and then it's returned because the purpose for that phone, the use is here.
Right.
Like the town, but,
Alright, cool. Do I have to solve that?
I feel better.
Well, that's what this is all about.
That's
Do you
right.
feel better? Linda?
The Halfmoon Lake Association uses Venmo. I went kicking and screaming to Venmo because we use cash and checks. And society has changed. We've had Venmo for the last 3 years. It is awesome. People charge, we verify on the phone, and at the end of the week, we just go in and transfer the cash from into our account. It's awesome.
Alright. Anybody else for public input? So I did, and I don't know that this is, so I do have a question, we talked about Venmo, so we use like 3 different banks. And so when we transfer, as I understand, we have to write a paper check and then go deposit that paper check at the other bank. So if we're going from Northway to TD Bank,
right.
is there any reason, and I understand the TD Bank came last year and did a presentation, I don't know,
Right.
I didn't hear about it. Why aren't we at one single bank?
We just haven't, actually, and that would be a vote of the board, but we would certainly have the TD representative come in.
Yeah.
You could, they would explain everything to you, especially, having everything in one bank. The only reason that we use Northway is for the daily deposits that have to be transported there. And it's in Pittsfield, and it's closer than Alton, so, and that's a daily requirement for anything over a certain dollar.
Well, I think the question is bigger than that. I don't think it's about, I mean, it is about consolidating the banks and start putting the right money in the right places if it's going to collect more interest or not.
Right.
Money that's not, that's sitting there for long periods of time, we want to put into a bank, it's actually going to earn some interest on it.
Right.
But that being said, these count, I mean, we have 14 or 17 freaking accounts. I mean, we need to really take a look.
Well, I think a lot of the accounts have to exist.
They do?
Right.
Well, a capital
Because
reserve
I
fund.
think that's what I need to,
Those-
I think that's what we really
Yeah.
need to look at, to be sure that they do need to exist.
Right.
And if they don't, then we consolidate some of them or move them to, better.
Well, that's why, are we a bigger customer if all of our,
Yes.
if we take, what moves through the town
Right.
on a daily basis is $4 or $5 million of assets that's spread out. But, if we can get a check reader, so the checks can be,
Yes.
Most banks make all their money off the money that stays in the bank,
yeah,
not the money.
or the money that's moving in between.
Right.
Because for 3 days, we don't have our money.
And
Exactly.
just to let you know, any of the big deposits, we take right to TD Bank because, well, first of all, that's all our payables come out of that bank. So we have to keep a high fund, but
So we should have the vice president of TE, which I think is Keith Price and Christina Duane, come to the board and do their presentation, if we can, so we can hear from them.
Yes, they came recently and let us, so.
You may wanna take a look at the credit union, I don't know if that's allowable or not,
No,
because we've
you
actually
can't.
got
But it's
better
also,
interest rates.
and then it's, we do need proximity and size and those sort of things, so.
Where's TD Bank?
TD Bank is Epsom and
Oh,
Alton. And then there's insurance things that we need to look at as far as, sometimes we may have to get an insurance rider for the FDIC insurance is still valid that we place in the bank, but I think we see it in all the banks right now, the FDIC ones.
And we still use the New Hampshire Public Deposit Investment Pool, depending on year to year, their interest rates, are usually pretty good. Trust funds use them a lot, the interest.
All right, we were still in public, I think on that, so close public input at 6:45 and on the banking, we'll just set up an appointment for them. Come present to the board.
Tuesday.
Yep, next Tuesday evening, we can get them. See what they have to say. Which means we are now at our public administration subcommittee. Who's here for that?
We've got the
Rusty? Here's, no Frank? And, yeah, no one was gonna be here. So, the public administration subcommittee, a couple of things on that. One is, this is an advisory, so anybody that's on it, that's understanding, this is an advisory group. This is not a witch hunt group. This is not I'm mad at whomever. Mad at Andy because there's a big speed bump in front of my house. That's public input conversation. But what we're truly looking for is the town of Barnstead, and I saw this one out in the master plan information. I looked back at the 2014 master plan information, and there was, the town at that point in time was favorable to regionalization and things like that. What we need is somebody to really gather that information, not only whether it's regionalization, do we have full-time chiefs, do we have part-time chiefs, what do we do? What is the mindset of the town as opposed to us just sitting up here and saying, this is what we want to do. Now, at the end of the day, you guys might come up with something we're going to be like, well, that's poppycock. Or we're going to say, you know what, we have to take this to the voters, is where that's going to be. So, what we don't want is, if somebody on that subcommittee has an idea and the rest of you think it's harebrained, it's okay. Let's still explore it and say, we think it's harebrained and this is why. Or you might go, oh, this is actually a really good idea. So we really want you guys exploring all alternatives. And I think most of you bring to it, but a level of experience or a background that is specific to these different areas. Whether it is the administration side of the town, whether it is fire or police or any of that, and we need that piece of the mindset as well. So.
Who's missing from the committee?
Glenn and Frank. Did we hear back from Frank at all?
He accepted,
Okay.
but not for being here tonight.
So you guys have to, so what you guys need to do is figure out a meeting night, when you're gonna meet. Kate's recommendation was you guys have a couple of meetings and then she'll come in and help
Yeah.
set the charter. But again, this is advisory only. If somebody comes to you, so Jen, you're out now on the public administration subcommittee, you saw firewood at the farmer's market, and somebody comes and says, I am so mad at Rob on the select board. You're not the venue for that, that's what you said, this is the venue, right? And you guys are just coming up with ideas, so we just wanna make that clear. So if your friends all come up with, I hate that guy. You can tell 'em. Yeah, exactly. Right, so that's what we're trying, that's what we're driving for here, and sometimes it's getting fresh ideas. So we try to get fresh people. And then, I go, value.
We
your
had
we
to
always
have-
value your,
yeah.
but there is, so, you know, in
some of it, it is that historical, what has Barnstead done for the last 110 years since you've been involved in the fire department? You know, where has it gone? We gotta know the history, what has happened in the past when we've tried to do something, you know? And so when I read through the town reports, I see sometimes the town votes it down and 3 years later, we're doing it again, the town votes it down again, and so that's not what we want to do. So, that's what we're looking for, so we got, and it's your deal, Gary.
Got a sheet here for your name. I know Karen has this info on your email and your phone. And if you could fill this out and then put in a night that you would prefer, makes it easier on you. And we'll start there and see where we can get the best night that fits everybody. And we'll work it out from there. So, we can do that anytime you have a swear in there.
Do we have a thing this morning?
Get sworn in?
All the appointments are with, Jess from the tax collector, so I don't know
Oh, so
if anyone has come in before then to get sworn in.
and Jess has gone home?
Guess you can sort of your first meeting.
There you go.
Yes, you can, yeah,
Anyway,
absolutely.
look at you, a lot of swearing.
Usually is.
Seems you're good at. Anybody have any questions since on that? Anybody actually have any questions, whether you're on the committee or not on the committee? I think it's an important thing we're doing. Because we want it.
I think it's a really good committee. I think we really do have really good individuals for that committee.
You said anybody.
I did say anybody, and this is an important thing to town people.
So, you, was I misunderstanding
Yes.
that the point of the committee was to evaluate candidates for the open positions? or
That is not the committee.
That is not,
That is, you have misunderstood completely. At this point in time, we have no open positions to fill.
so this is not that committee?
That is not that
And we
committee.
have nobody
Oh.
waiting for these positions either.
This is, so the contracts for both our police and fire chief.
And I was implying nothing by that, so this is.
You want the job?
No, this is a completely separate committee?
Correct. So the contracts expire for both of them between one in a year, one in a year and a half. And it's a long process to replace those positions. Like, you don't, we're not gonna put a sign up on the front of White Buffalo and somebody's gonna come in and do it. Want to be the police? You know, it's a process in doing that. So, and then there's a difference between do we hire full-time or part-time? Right now, both of our chiefs are part-time, both retired already. So one of them can work 26 hours, one is 32 hours. And then they have certain restrictions on what they can do. So are we moving to 40-hour week, or what are we doing, right? And that's the question that we have to answer first before we go and hire someone.
So that would be, the committee can evaluate whether we want to go full-time or stay part-time. That will be part of the committee to talk about.
Yeah. And then when the committee comes back to the board and says, we really think we've done all this research, it's over it, and it should be a full-time position. Well, then that becomes a budgetary thing. That becomes potentially a warrant article. So they have a time limit to get their homework done, so that it can get back to the board, and we can get a, if we need to do a warrant. And, you know, I think I used the example that they come back and say, you know what, we've really decided, we've talked to the town, and they wanna buy a helicopter, right? That's a warrant, because that's a big expenditure. I know it's outlandish, but never mind. So that's why they have a time limit.
So that's this committee.
That's this committee. And then there would be once that's all decided what we're gonna do, I'm gonna assume 6 months before a contract ends, if that person's not re-upping, or that's not the decision, we'll go into a hiring process so that we can have a seamless change.
Will the hiring process, will they decide on the hiring process, like for example, whether it's appointed to elect, not elected, but.
These are all,
These
they're
are
all appointed.
They're all appointed, oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
these are all appointed positions. So they would just come back to us and say, we really think that this is the way, and this is why, they're gonna have to justify the why. So this is basically the select board passing the buck and saying, you guys do the work, and then we're gonna take credit for it. That's what, does that answer that?
Isn't it also evaluating to say, maybe we share services with another town?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
it's, organization of the agencies. And we want to avoid the slippery slope, right? If you guys are out there, you're doing your thing, and the town says, we really think that we should combine, and I'm gonna use Karen, she's sitting right here, we should share a town administrator with all. It's really probably not good, but that's what it is, right? And that's what comes back. And then the board's gonna look at, okay, what's gonna do? It's not gonna be whether we think Alton's town administrator's doing a good job, so we should fire them and have Karen do both, right? The difference between, we're not evaluating performance in this business. Have to be really careful with the rules.
Yes.
Say doing a bad job.
It's just alternatives.
Somebody, we want all of them, right? I have my own thoughts, and we're a group of 5, right? That's not, maybe not the right group. You guys should be a group of everybody.
You get a couple from, with fireman experience, you get a couple with police experience, and then the other one is just towns.
Is it possible to get the job descriptions that are presently in place to those positions?
So in that, and we have a subcommittee description. You guys can basically ask for anything you want that is no personnel records, none of that. Job descriptions, that sort of stuff, absolutely. So all of that is, what are our SOPs, what are our this, what are all that? But we don't want you getting bogged down saying, boy, we should change this policy, right? But it's so that you have that understanding. Anything you guys need to do your job within, you can't go into personnel files.
Understood.
Yeah.
And it's a daunting task that we've been charged with. Because because of more importantly, the window.
The window.
A 6-month window, that's not a lot of time.
And if you can't, then you can't, right?
Well, I get, we'll have that discussion as a group. And
Right.
we'll
Because
try
our
to
real
get-
thing is town meeting, and our cutoff, if we need a warrant, is February, second Tuesday in February. So that's truly the cutoff to get it done, but there may be the fact that we've got to get a budget committee, we've got to put it in the budget, those sort of things. That's why we tighten up the window.
So my opinion, as I enter into this, is that the first task we have is to figure out what we want to do, how we want to go about that task. And that's a pretty large discussion.
Sure is.
Because you've got a lot of dynamics
Yeah.
that we're talking about, and you mentioned several, and there's plenty more up here. And yes, we are in a very new world. All right. If you continue to do as you've always done, you're always going to get what you always got, and we can't do that. The organization of municipalities is changing, and the requirements of performance is certainly the taxpayers are expecting more and more, and controlling costs are what we do now is not necessarily the best way to control costs. So we've got a lot of conversations.
Yeah, we have a lot to do, and just remember, you guys are a public body. If there's 3 of you hanging out together discussing it, that is a quorum, and that is a public meeting. Somebody has to take notes, meetings have to be posted, you gotta have minutes, all of that does, is that? 4, that's right, 4 for a quorum, because of 7. So 3 you can hang out, but this, I think in the first meeting, make sure everybody gets a copy of the public meeting rules.
And if you don't have one, Rob put a gave out at a training session we had here recently, a very nice handout.
That's right, you can do that.
And anybody that's not on the committee also, there's public input. So you come to the meeting and you have your say, what your thoughts.
Bring it in.
Rusty's on the time limit.
That's right, Rusty's gonna be in charge of who gets public input.
Wow, that's not a democracy.
You guys really have a lot to do though, so you probably want to keep public input down to a minute.
Oh, yeah.
Otherwise, you'll be listening to, who knows for how long.
And you guys can't decide you wanna paint the fire trucks different colors. That is not in your purview. Yeah, Jen? No? Because that'll take you guys the entire 6 months.
To decide what color.
No, it's real simple, democratic process.
Democratic process.
When you guys went into that meeting, I was working at Mountain, and Sean came in and I said, "You're gonna go green," and he's like, "I'm not He came back and goes, you're right.
All right. So nothing further on public administration subcommittee? It's gonna be pretty exciting.
So who, just so everybody knows, Jen, Hillary, Jason, George, Glenn, Frank, what's his last name?
McDonald,
And there's one more?
Gary,
Oh, okay.
Gary's the selectman.
Sorry, Gary.
Mad, M-A-D-D.
Just so we all,
Stop the money.
just so we all know the responsibility we have immediately, do we need to go and sit with Jesse and get sworn in? Is that the next step?
No, Gary will do it at your first meeting. There's no sense in.
Swear you all in at the same
I'm
time.
not sending you guys all in to see Jesse, because then we're gonna hear about that. Why did you send them all to see me? Let's go. You gotta pay, if you have to pay your taxes, it's
No,
just
she
like
was.
that.
She was in my dooryard Sunday picking up a hay trailer. I don't think.
That's right, she was. Love that. I think we're all set on that. Anybody have anything else? We did our public input, we've done all of that. I think we have a non-public. No? Other than that,
I think just something for the department heads.
Yep.
Just to let the board know that, Scott Rowe Highway is gonna be on vacation next week. And so George Batchelor will, be here doing some grading, ditching with grader, some work,
Okay.
in his absence.
Andy, was there conversations, I think there's been a little bit, and I had that brief conversation with Dan, but the talk of the Bosco Bell Road, Province Road from 28 to 107 being regraded,
Not yet.
okay, and adding gravel. I know he's talking about it's gotta be brought down and raised up, and, but I think it was sounded like something might be a
Now, we're coming down to another grader, George.
George whichever.
Who?
Batchelor.
Rob, you might wanna look, is that Bosco Bell Road, from last week to today, or yesterday actually, it has been redone.
Okay, and they made it done, they were talking
I
about
gotta
it.
tell you, it was rough than hell, I
Okay.
think.
Well, how is it?
It's an improvement,
Is
not
it-
perfect, but it's an improvement.
It's a terrible run, it's just a terrible stretch.
Well,
A lot of traffic.
I won't even go there. There's a lot of things about what we did there and have done there over the years, and we made it so friggin' wide, you can't have ditches,
Right.
you know, and if you don't have ditches, you got nowhere for the water to go except right down the middle of the road. That's an opinion, so.
You know what they say about those, Rusty?
Yeah, I know, I got an ass new billing.
Right.
Sorry, folks, sorry.
Yeah, sorry, no.
I just want to remind you, Rick, that Thursday, the town will be, at planning board this Thursday. That's to bring the plan for the addition on the agenda.
That's a good reminder right there, Gary.
We missed it last. Thank you.
So this Thursday,
It's this Thursday.
when I'm out of town. That's right, we'll figure it out.
You're not here? Thursday? You said Andy, can you double that?
Nope, that's all done.
We did vote that one.
We did.
You kinda got screwed in that deal, right?
Rick, I can vote for you, and I don't know a darn thing about it, I'll just sit there and spot.
So you want the planning board meeting till 2:30?
It starts at 6, and I put you guys first on the agenda.
That still don't help.
Well, when we asked you, you could have told us you couldn't make it.
I'm not sure I physically got asked.
You in charge?
So last week you said you had to reach out to Aaron about an issue. What was that issue?
Aaron.
Darrow.
Darrow.
Yeah. I figured you were
They
getting more
wanted-
information, so.
Are you,
I
I
don't know.
had asked her about there's some FEMA projects that still need to be cleaned up.
You made something about there's something new that popped up in town last week, some driveway or
Was there a
something.
driveway, another driveway other than the ash?
No, no, the minutes, a few minutes meetings ago, you had asked if Aaron could go and be involved in the driveway, I believe, up on the Vale Road.
Yeah, for her to approve the driveway,
I know what
Right.
it is.
driveway permits.
Right. Let me
So
go back and look at the email.
So there's nothing about like John Brown Road? Driveway on John Brown Road?
Not that I would have asked her to look at or anything, no.
Okay.
No.
I don't know the address, thought there was something on that, but.
Do you have anything? Rick, you good?
We're gonna do it right now.
Okay. So,
I'm good.
So,
okay.
so we got a non-public, we're gonna go to non-public, and it's gonna be 91A 3-2C.
Yeah.
We have motion for that,
I'll make a motion. I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Which means I'll go home. Appreciate y'all, guys.